Just had a man pick me up for a date. He asked me if I was a man in the car. I said yes. This man turns around and takes me back home. Now, this is a very prime example of somewhat fragile masculinity, but also dishonesty. Not on my end, but on the end of the suitor. I met him last Friday at a club when I was out with my girlfriends. At some point, we duck off, we're talking, we're chatting, we're dancing, we're like really having a good time. We're throwing banter back and forth, we're being flirty, all these things. Mind you, I am flat chested as fuck. I am not a woman. I'm just a very beautiful man. Proceeds to kiss me, da 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 da, XYZ, right? Has been texting me every day since last Friday when I gave him my number. He proceeds to tell me in the car, I don't really know how to ask this, or, I really just don't know how to bring this up, but are you a man? And I looked at him and I was like, yes, I am. I'm just a very feminine man. He pulls over and he's like, I just want to sit over and just like kind of talk about this for a second. I've never been in this position before, so I'm just like not really sure how to handle it. I had an inkling of a thought, but I didn't want to ask you and you be offended if you were not. However, it's just not something that I'm into particularly. And I think that's part of a bigger conversation as it relates to Black men being interested in just feminine energy, period. He proceeded to apologize and he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just felt like I needed to get this off my chest and at least just ask. But if I'm being honest, I was just like, okay, yeah, like that's fine. Like no harm, no foul. Like it's all good. He's like, is it okay if I just, turn around and take you back home? I'm like, absolutely. Yes, please. We sat there in silence as he did a U-turn and literally dropped me back off.
Yeah, I think that he was a really good person. And I got so many questions, and I'm going to pose them right now. But I think that this guy is a really good person because it's a lot of people out here. And I've done review videos. I've talked about it on the Millionaire Morning Show where they just crash out. They just 100% crash out when they find out that the person that they're talking to, and there are some women out here that got super deep voices. It's a lot of guys. They be having the liquor and the alcohol play tricks on them. But dog, like immediately do a U-turn, and everybody got to go back home. I think that the person was really good person because they actually explained them and asked questions. And if it's even a idea that this is a possibility that it could be a man, in my opinion, I don't think that you invalid for making a U-turn because my question is this: did they know? Like what? Yo, texting. So did y'all talk on the phone or did y'all only text prior to when you were having this conversation? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what this person looks like, and you know what I'm saying, in their other profile photos or whatever it is that they got going on. I'm just reacting to this video in real time, and so what you see me speaking about is exactly what I'm thinking. And then also they say that they flat chested and all of that. Listen, it's a lot of women that don't have huge chests and all of this stuff. I don't know what they was wearing. I don't even really care. Like, I guess my thing is it always there should always be an expectation for a person to disclose if they know that it's a possibility for them to be able to fool somebody else. In my opinion, like full disclosure up front should be a thing. Like y'all talking about y'all was kissing and all of this stuff, and maybe I misheard it wrong or I didn't understand what was being communicated or something like that. But it seems like to me that the communication from the very beginning on their part had to be off because if they were expecting, like, are people automatically expecting other people to ask the question prior to? Because if the person is a biologically born female, then you also risk the, you risk offending them because you you assume that it's a man. I've known chicks or I've seen chicks online that have said, yo, I couldn't believe that he asked me if I was a man or not or something like that. And so, then you run a risk of them getting offended. But in this situation, it just seems like it's very clear. However, I'm using this as a jump off point to illustrate a bigger conversation that it's getting scary out here for a lot of guys. And it's very, very scary for people. If you don't know them for a long time or know them since birth and all of this stuff, y'all got this hookup culture. And again, you letting the alcohol talk to you in between all of this stuff and you letting that influence what you got going on, you're going to be crashing out. You're going to be in a bad space. You're going to be in a space where, you pulling over to the side of the road and having this conversation because you're not sure how to approach it and you don't want to be offending of somebody. But then again, on the flip side, there's a lot of people that just crash the fuck out because, they don't like the fact that they was kissing somebody and that status wasn't disclosed. And, it was a possibility that they didn't know that you was a girl or a guy. I don't know. I don't know, bro. It's just, it's a wild time to be alive right now. Let me hear the rest of what they got to say.
But it goes to show that sexuality truly is a spectrum. And while people may not be into
What?
whatever parts people have or whatever the case may be, people are just attracted to energy, period. Which is okay.
No,
That's totally fine. I
agree.
completely respect
Attracted
that.
to
I'm
energy.
not one of those gays that are like, I'm going to go get the trade and do this, that, and the third. That's really not my vibe. And if you are, I mean, pop off queen, do your big one. But I guess my biggest problem is if you had an inkling of a thought or you felt any type of way, you should have quite literally just asked and been honest from the very beginning. Here, I
But why
spent
can't you be forthcoming? That is my question. Like, why do they have to figure it out? Which the expectation, you got to figure it out on your own just for self preservation purposes and for your own self sanity. But why do they have to figure it out? Why can't you be forthcoming with it? You know what I'm saying? That's the part that I don't understand.
an hour and a half getting ready for a date, not really into it, but like I was like open to, just seeing what happens, what would, transpire out of the whole situation. And yet, here we are. Now, this is a first for me. I've never had this happen to me before. This is something new to me. I'm not humbled in the slightest because I'm a bad bitch. Look at me. Like, hello. And I know this is not in vain. I know that God has a partner for me out in the world, wherever he may
And
be.
people always want to put God into it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's getting dicey. I thought we was just reacting to this is the danger of reacting to stuff in real time. I thought we was just reacting to the fact that the guy got tricked and how he was gonna handle the situation based off of the title of it saying he asked me if I was a man and then took me back home. I didn't know if he was gonna crash out. I didn't know if he was gonna be angry. I hate when people start putting God and stuff into it. Man, God ain't got nothing to do with this. This is y'all own decisions. Y'all doing y'all own thing, and then y'all got to be accountable for whatever that looks like.
But that shit was crazy as fuck. And for my theys, my girls, my dolls out there in the world, y'all be safe out there. Truly just be safe. Because for a slight moment in time, I was actually kind of scared for a minute. But yeah, y'all, I don't know. Am I tripping? Y'all let me know what y'all think because I've quite literally never experienced anything like this before. Like, oh my God.
I can't take anymore. So, anyways, moral of the story is be safe out there, fellas. Stop kissing in the dark space at night and letting the alcohol guide your decisions. Be very careful because your reputation, and then you're gonna have to go home and feel some type of way about the fact that you got to live with it forever that you was kissing on a biologically born man. And even though things ended amicably, they sitting here telling a story about you on the internet, and now I'm doing a review video of it because you made a bad mistake by aligning yourself with somebody that you shouldn't have been in the whole situation with in the beginning. Anyways, let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. I always like to link back to the content creator to give credit regardless of whether I agree or not. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love y'all. I appreciate you. I'm gonna holler at you guys later. Peace.